What are fashionable Zoom H1s wearing these days? Find out on today's episode where we talk about accessorizing your Zoom H1. Hi makers, builders, and do-it-yourselfers, Harley here. In the last episode, which I'll link right here, I did a mini review and test of the new Zoom H1 that I received. And I didn't have time in that episode to do a review of all the accessory pack that came with that package deal. So we'll do that in this episode. This accessory pack, I got it as a package deal, but you can also get them individually from Amazon and probably other retailers. But in this episode, we'll review each of the 6 items that comes in this accessory pack and see what it looks like. First up, we'll take a look at the power, the electrical stuff. Came with a little adapter, one AC adapter, runs off 100 to 240 volts AC, 50 to 60 hertz. So it's pretty much will run anywhere in the world. It does only have the spade connectors though for the US. If you wanted to run it somewhere else, all you would need is an adapter. You don't need an electrical adapter, just the physical adapters. The cable is just a standard USB cable that plugs in one side to the Zoom H1 and the other side to your computer or to this device right here. All this will do is power it. Instead of using batteries, there's no charger in it, so you can't put rechargeable batteries and charge it from this. So really all this is good for is to run, if you're on location, you have power and you want to plug in and not use batteries. Other than that, this, for my particular purposes, this really doesn't do me much good. It is nice to have one more cable on hand to kind of clutter things up, but again, this is something that you don't necessarily need the accessory pack for, if this is all you need. Case is the next thing on the list, and this is actually kind of nice. It's a padded case. It's not a soft case, but it's not a hard case either. It's kind of in between. It does have a belt loop on the back that's you can use Velcro to adjust or put it on something besides a belt too, I suppose. It's got a little hand strap that is just kind of clips on here. You could use the hand strap for something else if you wanted, or it can just snap on there. It does have 2 zippers that open up, and as I mentioned before, it has a little elastic strap in there, so if it was on your belt or hanging on something, it wouldn't just flop open. And there's a little space inside here. Looks like it's probably to put extra memory chips in for extra storage. I don't think you'd probably put batteries or anything in there. I'm guessing, I can't think of anything else you would put in there besides memory chips. This, and it is custom molded for a Zoom H1. This is probably one of the best parts of the accessory pack in terms of usability and something you couldn't get somewhere else. Okay, this windscreen is another thing that probably only comes in the accessory kit. For my particular purposes, since I'm going to be using a lav mic most of the time, I don't know that it'll really help me much personally. But yeah, if you're going to be using it in this kind of configuration, it probably wouldn't be a bad thing to have. I'll do a simple test here with and without the windscreen. So first of all, with. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Did Peter Piper pick a peck of pickled peppers? If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? And now we'll try it without. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Did Peter Piper pick a peck of pickled peppers? If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? And now finally for the 2 holders. First is this little tripod thingy. It looks kind of cute and all, but frankly, it doesn't really work well. It's a little bit top heavy. The base isn't wide enough. By the time the Zoom fits on here about this long, by the time you get it on there, it just really wants to tip over. You can get it balanced, so it sort of works, but yeah, I'm not terribly impressed with it. The Zoom is just a bit big for this particular tripod. If you're going to need something like this, my recommendation would be get one of the small Gorilla Pods. I haven't tried it, don't have one on hand, but just because of the way they're designed and their adjustability, I suspect they'd probably work a lot better than this does. This just doesn't have enough adjustability. It's not a wide enough base. The other thing, you might be able to get some bean bags or sandbags to weight it down. That would probably help quite a bit. Just the zoom is too big, and the center of gravity is just such that it doesn't really work very well. In my unboxing video, I hypothesized that this little device was for holding the Zoom H1. I have since changed my mind on that. I've got some more clarity on it after reading the instructions, and I think what this is for putting it on a mic stand. After you've attached it in like that, you can slide it into the mic stand and it holds it just fine. I think for mic stands that are tapered, where the clips are tapered, I think this would work just fine. I have seen some clips where they're parallel to each other for straight-sided mics. I'm not sure that this would work all that well. It's always worth a try anyway. So there you have it. That's all 6 items. Overall, you have to decide for yourself if it's worth the 20 bucks, or in my case 10 bucks. Really the only 3 things I guess that you couldn't get somewhere else would be the holder for the mic stand, the case, and the little foam patty thing. This isn't worth getting. This is only good if you're going to run off batteries, and this you can pick up anywhere. So these are kind of the only custom things in the box. You have to decide for yourself if it's worth that much for you. For me personally, yeah, if it's worth 10 bucks, particularly for the case. I think the case is going to be the best thing for me out of all this. And then having an extra cable is always nice. That about wraps up this episode. I did recently notice that Scott over at the Frugal Filmmaker has an episode on alternatives to things found in the accessory pack. If you find that interesting, I'll leave a link down in the description. Until next time, go make something. Doesn't have to be perfect, just have fun.